Hello, welcome to my video. I'm Sujung Yu at MDREX. Today, I'm going to introduce you to Korean regulation and market access strategy related to medical devices. Here, I would rather focus on software as medical devices, as they are such rising stars in medical device field globally. So before we start, who we are, I'm working at MDREX, Korean Boutique Medical Device Consulting Firm. We are a group of experts in digital health and medical device fields, providing wide scope of services for foreign companies that are interested in Korean market, or for domestic manufacturers to successfully enter Korean or international markets. As stated here, our service is ranged from market research and strategy setup to distribution. So apparently a total solution for medical device companies. We are based in Korea, but still provide outbound services in collaboration with international partners. So let's begin. This is today's contents table. I will explain about governing bodies and related laws first to start with, moving to general terms and procedural for medical device and technology to give you a basic idea about market entry procedure for new medical device. It will be divided into two parts, product-wide and technology-wide. Then I will go on with two study cases to give more practical ideas about two reimbursement strategies, deferred new health technology and integrated assessment for innovative medical technology. Market entry procedure for new medical device. Here, I mentioned that I will cover the general terms and procedure for new medical device when it is to be commercialized with reimbursement. This is a chart we drafted to help you better understand the general assessment process for a medical device. In order for a new medical device or technology that the new device brings in to be commercialized, this assessment should be completed. There are three major laws that govern the assessments: Medical Device Act, National Health Insurance Act, and Medical Act. There are also three governing bodies that assess the device or technology under the relevant acts: MFDS, previously Korean FDA, HERA, and NECA. So first, product-wide assessment. MFDF reviews the medical device under the Medical Device Act, mainly focusing on its safety and efficacy. Its processing time is legally determined up to 80 days, but most of the times it is prolonged and it can be take up to 6 months. Along with KGMP certification, the product will be either registered, certified, or approved depending on the classification. When a medical device is completed the MFDS approval, the ball goes to HERA to see whether the technology is a medical device brings in is an existing one or a new one. This step is necessary because of Korean single payer system. There is a list of reimbursement for medical device or technology. Based on this pre-established list of technologies, HERA would compare the target products with the existing technology to see if the target technology should be regarded as a new one or existing one. If it's new one, then it will require new technology assessment by NECA. And if it is decided to be one of the existing technologies here, no further assessment is required, but the technology falls into the current category with current reimbursement price. Upon HERA's determination as new medical technology, it's NECA's turn to proceed with new technology assessment, so-called NHTA. NECA conducts meta-analysis on all the clinical data and tech documents available related to the technology to measure the safety and efficiency of the target technology. Therefore, whether there are sufficient clinical data can be a key factor here. NECA's assessment takes 250 days, so to say a year. After the assessment is completed, the HERA takes the ball back and third, reimbursement assessment, which focuses on cost effectiveness and feasibility for reimbursement. Processing time is stated as 30 days in regulation, but in real world, it takes 1 or 2 years. However, most of the new technologies and new medical devices do not have robust clinical data. Therefore, they come up with two pathways to allow manufacturers to take some period of time before the new medical technology assessment. Those two tracks are deferred assessment and innovative medical technology assessment. They both require an HTA by NECA in the end. But at the same time, more clinical data can be presented for NECA's review. And goes to HERA again. I hope everyone is staying with me now. This is a brief structure of market access procedure. Let's move to next slide for detailed information for each assessment track that requires more of a strategic approach. Here, I will walk through all of the assessment pathways with you. Since the time given is very limited, so I will focus on critical and distinctive points of each pathway. First of all, there is a general assessment track for new medical technology. This is the most basic process that is for everyone. As you have learned from the previous slide, it goes step by step. Product approval by MFDS, HERA's checking on existing technology or not. And finally, an HTA by NECA, followed by reimbursement assessment by HERA after all. If NECA's and HTA is not successfully passed, the target technology cannot move forward to reimbursement listing, but listed as a developing technology, which is not eligible for reimbursement. If you remember well, there were two tracks that I mentioned in the previous slide prior to the NHTA. One of them can be applied in this procedural deferred assessment. This allows 2 years of use period during which the technology can be used clinically as non-reimbursable. This non-reimbursable use continues till NHTA is completed. And because it takes about 1 year, we call this track as 2+1 track. So this was about the general assessment track and deferred assessment. And there are a lot of steps to take, a number of authorities involved here. Therefore, to shorten the time, an integrated assessment on new medical technology has been introduced. This means product approval and existing technology check and NHTA are all done concurrently. Processing time follows the longest time among those, which is NHTA, 250 days. However, note that this, if the product approval review here by MFDS is prolonged, this integrated assessment will be also delayed. This track is eligible for those medical devices whose intended use is aligned with the purpose of new medical technology, only when those two are the same. Next is the remaining pathway in innovative technology assessment. The general assessment track goes similar with the general NHTA pathway first. Product approval and check existing technology. But rather than NHTA, it goes for innovative technology assessment by NECA. If the target technology passes this assessment by NECA, it will be given an approval for clinical research and usage. And then reimbursement assessment for temporary listing follows. As I mentioned, for most of the new technologies, it is difficult to prove that it is effective and safe, as they usually do not have robust or sufficient clinical data. Therefore, for those technologies that are proven with its safety and potential, 3 or 4 years of use period is given to generate real-world evidence. With those evidence collected, the target technology has to go through NHTA again, and so on. Now you may guess what's next. Here, there were general and integrated track for new medical technology assessment. Then there comes integrated track for innovative medical technology. As you can guess, yes, the integrated track combines the three assessments like this. Surprisingly, the assessment itself takes 80 days. It's not a kidding, but the processing time very depends on the MFDS's product review. The same with this case. If the process is delayed in here at the first step, then of course, even integrated assessment is postponed accordingly. Also, at this moment, this integrated track is eligible for digital, wearable, or AI big data technologies only. One more point to know is that its evaluation is somewhat in favor of domestic manufacturers, and there hasn't been any predicate technology by foreign manufacturers so far. However, this does not mean that foreign manufacturers cannot take this track. As I mentioned, as long as the target technology is such technology-based, it's open to anyone. Finally, like the general assessment track for innovative medical technology, an approval for clinical research and usage is given if passed the assessment. And with the temporary listing, collecting real-world evidence comes possible. There are a lot to consider when deciding which track one would like to pursue, as each obviously has pros and cons. Of course, there are far more conditions and changes made by time. And once decided to take one of these tracks, it's a very long-term project to follow up. We see it's 250 days and even 2 years. It's such a long period of time to consider. This is why understanding each pathway and setting up the best market access strategy in advance is very critical based on characteristics of the target products and technology. So now, let's get to the case studies to see what is actually going on in the real world. Let's dive into case 1, deferred assessment for NHTA. The case 1 I brought here this time is SaMD by company V. The software provides probability of pre-cardiac arrest to be happened within 24 hours by analyzing patient's information and medical data collected from EMR. What company V chose to go through with its reimbursement was deferred assessment for NHTA. They rather focused on the fact that they can still sell the product during the deferred period for 2 years. And even during the NHTA period for about a year, finally, so that they can enjoy 2 + 1 years of non-reimbursable use in clinical field. This track allowed company V to actually enter the market very quickly, right after the deferred assessment application is accepted. That will be the biggest benefit the company enjoyed. Also, non-reimbursable price can remain as a reference when HERA determines the reimbursement type and price. So what's left for them? As the deferred period is to be ended in July this year, NHTA application should be made 30 days prior to the end date. Then NECA's NHTA takes 250 days, while the software D still can be sold the same way. As we learned so far after NHTA, HERA's official reimbursement assessment will take about 2 years, and then finally it will be listed officially by Ministry of Health and Welfare, either reimbursable or selective non-reimbursable. We can see that the benefit here, as I keep emphasizing, deferred and HTA track enables the technology to enter the market very quickly, although it has to go through an HTA in the end. Now let's move to case 2, integrated assessment for innovative medical technology. Here the case is, again, a SaMD J by company J. J is based on AI analysis the patient's MR image and classifies causes of ischemic stroke into 4 types. J takes integrated assessment track for innovative medical technology to get through reimbursement assessment. And now it is in the middle of use period, temporary reimbursement listing approved. J firstly chose non-reimbursement price for the use period, which was accepted at first, but later maximum reimbursement price was determined by the government. The thing here is that during the use period, the company J should generate real-world evidence to present to NECA for NHTA later on. And the number of medical institutes that can be part of this is limited upon application only. So what made J choose integrated assessment for innovative medical technology? It may have concluded that there are more benefits in consideration of their product perspective and market access strategy perspective. The charming point here is that this track allows the fastest market entry. This is because the assessments involved here are conducted concurrently for 80 days, while MFDA's product approval. Although it is not actually 80 days in total due to the prolonged MFDA's review, still, all the assessments are done as soon as the product approval is completed. When it completes its assessments, it can be listed as temporary reimbursement, which can enjoy reimbursement benefits. Although some can say that this use period is only for generating real-world evidence in a limited number of institutions, but one thing here is that when the target number of real-world evidence cases is met, it can be used in actual medical practices. So, can everyone take this track? The answer is no. At this moment, only AI-based big data or wearable technologies and other technologies that can bring distinctive improvement, so-called innovation, can apply for this track. So this is it for today. Thank you for staying with me so far. We, MDREX, are providing a total solution service for you to lead to success. Do not hesitate to contact us through website, email, or even through LinkedIn. And last but not least, if you find this video helpful, please like and subscribe. See you next video. Bye-bye.